Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yo, yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. And I am excited, my people. My people. What's going on? I'm having a little problem with the music today, but yeah, I don't know what's going on and I don't really care. But we in the building. How's everybody doing? If y'all can hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the comments, please. My man, thank you for saying subtle breathing, because I know I'm hacking. If y'all can hear me good in the mics, just give me a thumbs up in the comments, please. Thumbs up in the comments, please, please, please. So I know that we're good to go. We're up and running. We got a lot to talk about. Just got back from England, had a ball. We live. Shout out to Many Faces. Shout out to Owen. Let me get a thumbs up if y'all can hear me, please. We good? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Audio good. Okay, thank y'all. Many Faces and Owen in the building. We good. A lot I want to talk about. I mean, I feel like one of the things that I think that we don't understand is so much. Let me just shout out everybody. BZ, John Smith in the building, Indira Green. What's up, sweetness? How you doing? So much we got to talk about. We haven't been live in a minute. So thank y'all for tuning in. Just good to be here. That's all I can say. And there's so much I want to talk about. Went out to UK to see my little man, trying to be the best version of a father I possibly could be. It's good to see him. So I'm in a good place. I'm always recharged when I get to go see my little man. Getting big. Uh, let's see who's in the comments as everybody comes. We are the Matrix. What's going on? Jer Jerzer. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. JRZ1ER. Indira. Yeah, me too, Indira. I'm sad too, but it's things have to happen for us to understand the real premise. And I don't want to get into the whole election thing anymore, because I'm quite sure we have quite sure we have some people here, maybe Trump fans. I don't want to be offensive, but I will say this: if you're listening to my my podcast and you listen to what I'm talking about, the importance of truth and credibility, and without going into that, I mean, if you're not practicing truth, I think we end up in a situation where everything kind of what doesn't go out, what doesn't happen in the wash happens, and whatever doesn't come out in the wash comes in the rinse. And I hope for the best. I hope that you know the future president has some good intentions in mind. I hope that he uses the best minds in the world to move forward. I hope so. We are all part of this country, and we all need to to understand that we're in this thing together. And I think that's pervasively one of the things that I don't talk about as much. And there's so many people who are in this space of relationship advice and stuff, and they don't, and they put it. Shout out to Indira, man, for coming in. There's so many little times that we have women in the chat and stuff like. So shout out to her. Robert Spindletree, what's going on, baby? Thanks for coming in. Everybody's still coming in. But I still am a firm believer that truth, credibility, and empathy is the absolute most important thing. All right, we got a call already. They want me to shut up. Let's see what we got.
Brendan.
Brendan, what's up?
Yo, what's up, Dante? How's it going?
Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Reno, Nevada.
What's going on? How can I help you, brother?
What's going, man? What's it called? I just had a question real quick. So, basically, I'm going through a breakup right now. And then, this was earlier in January. And I spent almost a whole year just hustling, trying to, deal with the breakup, working 80-hour weeks and in school full time. And now that I quit one of my jobs,
yeah,
now I have time to talk to girls and have more free time.
Let me ask you this: what's your job?
So I have two jobs. One of them is a warehouse and in a restaurant. Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Okay, and the other one?
Wait,
the first one you said is in a restaurant?
Correct.
Okay, what do you do in the restaurant?
I just cook.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And the other one is what?
A warehouse. I just pick.
All right. So here's my thing: going to and fro your job, or in the midst of your job. Don't you? Are there not situations where you come across women or no?
Yeah, that's the thing. I get approached at almost every job by girls, but that's why I called, because I don't know why, because before my relationship, I would have girls calling me to fuck 5 every weekend, and now it's just now I just can't pull through for some reason. I lost my boss,
What do you mean? What do you mean you can't pull through?
I mean, I don't know. I just can't. I can't fuck, I guess.
You can't what?
I can't fuck or hang out really. I don't know why. I lost my thought.
Are you saying because you don't have the time, or just you don't have the confidence?
No, it's just it's only been 1 week since I quit my morning job, and no, it's just that I don't know. I just don't have to get the confidence, you could say.
You what? You don't have the confidence.
Correct, I guess. Yeah, in no way.
All right, so that's not a problem. That's not a logistics problem. That's a you problem, right? That's you internally in your head, right?
Yeah, but it's I would tell myself I do have the confidence. It's just I just don't know exactly what to say, because before I would get a girl no problem, talk to her for a day, and then
let me say this. Let me say this. I totally understand that some people come to this channel and come to my content with that a lot of nobody is. I mean, sometimes we get guys who come here as virgins and some young dudes or old dudes who have no idea what they're doing. But I'm assuming that you're not a virgin, yes?
No, not a virgin.
And how old are you?
I'm 23. I just.
All right, but you're a young dude, right? What's your body count?
body count is like 40, like 43.
All right. So this is just, if that's your body count, then that's a mental, you kind of have a mental block that's coming through.
Right.
But my point is, how long you been listening to the content?
Sheesh. That was like 18.
All right. So let me
That was
ask
like
you
5 years
something.
now.
Have you ever laid the 5 bricks? Have you ever gone through that process?
Yeah, I'm actually doing that right now. But yeah, like I went out last week.
Yeah, but I'm saying you've been listening to my content since I was, for a long time. You haven't done this before. This is something that you're just embarking upon now, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I didn't really find a reason to do it before because I had no problem getting drugs.
Well, the point is not this is the point that even if you don't think there's a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
It's like why you take vitamins? Oh, well, I don't take vitamins because I don't really feel like I have a reason for it. But what you do is you do what you can do to make yourself as healthy as possible so that you don't end up in a situation like this. So this is really not an option. Is anybody out there who's listening, this is a great call because it kind of lets people know that, no matter how good it's going, that too will change. And no matter how bad it's going, that too will change as well. But what happens is when you're laying the 5 bricks, you have to be, you can't, you like what happens, it just makes you more comfortable and more social. The pretense is why you have this block is because it all comes down to fear. And I realize that a lot of times when I say that, especially guys, you get really uncomfortable with the fact that when we talk about that you might be afraid of something, because as a man, you're not supposed to be afraid of nothing. But what happens is, first of all, I've said this 100 times, being brave, you can't be brave without fear, without the presence of fear. Doing what is easy to you is not brave. It's just you going through the motions. So you lay the 5 bricks because it makes you, it makes you, sociable, helps you be sociable. It makes you comfortable with talking to people, and it helps you to talk to people non-transactionally. See, when you're trying to bag something, like you meet a baddie and you're trying to bag it, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's a transactional thing, because the minute that happens, you don't want to lose, you don't want to fail, you don't want to be rejected, and so because you don't want to be rejected, you have a tendency to like there's an outcome. Laying the 5 bricks is not about an outcome. It's about you opening yourself up to be social, you being comfortable with talking to people, not just men, women. I mean, the whole premise of laying the 5 bricks is 5 women, but eventually what you start to understand, it just opens your perspective up so that you can talk to women without feeling like they don't feel like it's transactional, because it becomes something that you're comfortable with. And this is honestly what I go through all the time. Is like, I'm saying to do these things on people listen to my content. People go, oh, you know what you're talking about. And then they don't do anything that I'm saying. I don't care if I don't care if you beg 430 chicks. You still should be laying the 5 bricks, because what it does is first of all, it reinforces that every human being, we all have insecurities. Women, I don't care if she's the baddest chick in the world. I don't care if he's the guy with the 6-pack and the cum gutters. But when we just talk to each other, it becomes easier to talk to each other. When we hold back, but I think this also has to do with a level of benevolence, because if you're benevolent, then you're paying compliments and you're communicating with other human beings with the intention of openness and honesty, and that just makes people gravitate towards you,
Right. I was gonna say, yeah. So obviously, yeah, because I also realized I didn't really think much of it, but like I was bagging a bunch of women. I feel like a big thing that played a big role was alcohol.
You were doing
And I
what?
feel like the alcohol,
Say that again.
just drinking alcohol, like drinking,
Yeah, but that's all fake.
like
That's also a fake
but
pretense of
it's
who
fake,
you
right?
are.
That's
That
true. Yeah,
becomes
yeah,
liquid courage, and
yeah.
you don't want to be
That's true.
relying on that. I mean,
Right.
you got to be good enough to be who you are. I mean, the reason why we drink is because we want to change our state. We're not comfortable with the
Okay.
way we are right now, so we get drunk so that we can be somebody what we're not. But ultimately, when the liquor runs off, you get exposed, and you're not really the person that you're not really the person that
Exactly.
you say you want to be, that you propose yourself to be. And this is the
That's
thing:
that's true.
real game is no game. You gotta be what it is
Yeah.
you want to be. You can't fake it, because if you fake it, there's only a matter of time till you're exposed. And I would
Right.
believe
Yeah.
that's what's going. That's
Yeah.
kind of what you're going through. Is you're faking it, and now the wool.
Right.
You got to a point. I don't know. Something might have triggered this, but now you're raw and you're out there on your own, and you're like, oh well, I'm not really that dude that I was when I'm drinking in the first place.
That's true. Yeah, because I was about to say that like these girls, I was smashed. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't really like long term, you know. Because yeah, like what you're saying, like your true colors are exposed over time.
You got to you have to be the dude that you
Yeah.
want to be, and you got to practice that. And if you're not doing that, trust me, you're gonna get exposed. So
Okay.
start laying the
Okay.
5 bricks consistently. Not, and then when I say that, this is another thing. People say I lay the 5 bricks, and then I ask them like 5. They go no.
Right.
So I say 7 days a week. They say no. And so here's the bottom line: if you want the results, you got to do what I tell you to do. There's no
Okay.
wiggle room. If you knew how to do this on your own, you wouldn't have to talk to me. You could do it on your
Right.
own.
Right.
You feel me?
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
and one last thing, I was gonna say, so like laying the 5 bricks, you think that also like cultivates your personality to where it like it can last long term rather than just like meeting like approaching girls
Well, you can't.
in the first place.
That's a whole nother part. Another part is your level of honesty. Um,
Yeah.
you want the honesty of what goes on, and who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if you are that guy, you're still gonna find women who don't want an honest guy. But
That's true.
that's somebody you don't want to be with anyway.
Yeah.
You
True.
know?
That's
Okay.
true. That's
Okay,
true,
B.
man. All right, man. I
Appreciate you,
appreciate
bro.
it.
Later.
Yeah. Later.
Let me see. Diamond DJ says you lost me with Kamala. You want a woman to lead you. No, I just don't want a guy who's a liar and adjudicated rapist. I mean, we don't always get what we want, Diamond. We don't always get what we want in politics. And a lot of times we're not really involved in politics until we I mean, we should be involved in politics on a town level, on a state level, on a country level, and then every because this is our country, and if we don't do that, so Diamond, it just, when you put up little credibility of somebody, it's hard. I would be hard pressed. I would be hard pressed to
accept, press 1.
I think what we're talking about is the lesser of two evils. Uh, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Lavi from Seattle.
Lavi, was popping. How can I help you, bro?
So I think I called last week about this thing I was going on with this girl that I was really strung on, and now that whole thing faded out. But I'm balancing. I know your new thing that you say is closure is for bitches, so I'm not really searching for closure on anything, but I do want to be authentic and search on what went wrong, if it was something with me personally, or if it was if it was just the African cichlid metaphor, was it something like that? And I don't know, I'm kind of at a weird spot right now on how to not move on from it, but like analyze it and then improve from that situation.
Well, I mean, are you saying to talk to her and see what went wrong?
Not necessarily, because I mean, no, I wouldn't do that, just because I kind of like the way it had ended. It kind of felt like I was being disrespected, so I really wouldn't want to like go back to that.
So
Because
you were being
I don't,
disrespected in what way?
in the sense that like she started like flaking on me last minute, and even when I had already kind of like let her know, like, hey, like it's fine if you don't want to hang out, let me know, like that's fine. But I have like I can
So why
make other
do you
plans.
think? I mean, did you do all that you thought you should do?
Yeah, I mean close to it. Like I'm not, no one's perfect, but it was one of those things where no one had ever really treated her right, and she was, why I was sprung, I think, is because she was so grateful for all the stuff I did. Like I knew I didn't have to, that time travel. Like I did a time travel technique, and I didn't have to. Like it was in the bag. She was already kind of like feeling. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, but you
I liked her and I
practice.
wanted to treat her right.
You practice. No matter what happens, you practice you practice the things that even when you don't have to. That's not the point. The point is that what you really have to understand, and in some cases, I would say this: everybody is not for you.
Yeah, fair.
Everybody's not for you. That sometimes you have somebody who has been through so much trauma that it's a situation where she doesn't even have the ability to receive what you have to give. You got to be critical enough about yourself so that you could say okay, I did the best that I could possibly do, if that makes sense. And if you've done that, there's always a chance that you could we could whatever the case is, if we're doing the homework and we're showing ourselves the work, we're checking our answers, then we know that we did the right thing. So if you said that somebody's flaking on you and you go, listen, I don't want you flaking on me, my point is, and she goes, yeah, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do, then that is your closure. You understand?
Yeah, 100%.
The closure is that, yeah, I don't care. Like so often I've done consultations where I've had situations where dudes will be in a situation where they'll be with a girl, and her actions will denote a certain level of disrespect. They'll say, hey, I don't, I mean, and you don't get mad about it, but you go, hey, this is non-negotiable for me. This behavior is unattainable for me. I can't tolerate this. And if she goes, yeah, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, then that's your answer. If you really are, if that really is your non-negotiable, right? You gotta go, okay, well, I guess we ain't right for each other. The way I look at it sometimes is, let's say you're dating a girl and she calls you up and she says, hey, listen, I just realized that I like women. I like women more than I like men, or maybe I realize I'm a lesbian and I don't like women, right? What kind of closure would you need from that?
I mean, she told you as much, like, you know what it is.
Right, but if I say, listen, this is non-negotiable, and if you're going to continue to act like that, even if you don't say, I don't, because I don't believe in giving an ultimatum. But if somebody is telling you this is how I'm going to treat you, then you should assume that that's how they're comfortable operating. Once you give them an opportunity to say this is not okay or this is okay, right? And then beyond that, you move on.
Yeah.
I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there's emotions and stuff, and you don't want to lose, and maybe you like somebody, maybe you're not getting the emotions are not getting reciprocated, right? But the bottom line is, if you stay in there in a situation where the emotions are not reciprocated, at that point, what makes it a situation where that's going to change? She goes, I'm not doing that. Like, if she goes, I don't like guys, like it's the same thing. I don't want to do what you want me to do. I want to hang out. I want to do OnlyFans. I want to sleep with other dudes. Like, it's obvious when somebody's actions. I get that you can sometimes explain that to them. Maybe it needs to be explained, right? But once somebody's telling you what it is, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I guess no, I 100% understand. Like, that's why I kind of like didn't really press it forward, because when she did the second time, I'm like, oh, you just don't care. You don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah,
that's what it was apparent.
But why do you think that that's you? Why do you think that's you? You know, why are you thinking that you have the problem?
I'm not so sure that it is me. This is like one of the only times, like, because I've worked on myself so much, I've really held myself to the standard of ace. I almost felt like, not that I did everything correct, like I'm a human being.
I mean, nobody's perfect, but what I'm saying is, we're talking. How long did this go on?
This is what was crazy. It was a fucking 3-week thing. Like, it was.
Oh, dog, come on. But 3 weeks. Now, when you say it was a 3-week thing, what do you think that means? What do you think that's like, long, or you think that's short, or what?
No, that is extremely short. It was ridiculous.
Okay, so you have to assume that you're lucky that she showed you who she was right up front.
No, I agree. I do. I'm just curious as to, like, because the thing is, she was more into me than I was into her, and it got to a point, like, this might be just some, like, toxic trauma thing.
Clearly
but, like,
not.
She said she had loved me, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
But let me ask you something. So clearly, she wasn't into you more than you were into her. She dumped you, right?
I guess so, yeah, technically. I mean,
so then she lied.
On my roster, too. She fucked my roster up.
Yeah, but then she lied then, right?
I guess so, yeah, right.
So you got somebody who lied. You got somebody who said something that she was 3 weeks. She's telling you she loves you. You don't even. I mean, I don't see how you could know somebody in 3 weeks, but you can. Here's what you can know. You can know if somebody's full of shit within 3 weeks.
Yeah, it seemed a lot like very performative. But the only reason I was like, not that I believed her, like, oh yeah, like I didn't feel the same way. I definitely didn't. I felt it was a great time, but she like said it and then immediately like had made a face like she wasn't supposed to say it, and it was like that. Yeah, was like
you're bugging. Stop. You're going all into the. It's 3 weeks. You're bugging. You're bugging. 3 weeks, right. You hanging out with somebody, she's way into you. I love you. Then she acts funny, and then she dumps you. Like in what world is that reasonable?
It's not at all.
So then you got somebody who's nuts. I mean, you do understand that that's one of the options, right?
Fair enough.
Okay, so move on. I mean, reason why you're perplexed about this, because you have to be honest with yourself. You're ego tripping. You like the fact that she was into you. You like the fact that she was into you in the way that she was. You like the fact that it was so fast. She was feeding your ego, and then while she's feeding your ego, boom, she snatched the rug out from under you.
Yeah,
and thank God she did it in the course of 3 weeks.
What a wild month that was. Yeah, no, it was very quick, and I am appreciative of that, because that was like.
This is what I'm saying. When guys be like, "Oh, she cheated on me," nah, this is my opposition to Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, that men don't cheat. They access opportunities, but women do the same thing. The point is, what you want to happen is you ultimately want somebody to show you who they are immediately, so you don't waste your time. I'm 58 years old. I don't want to waste 2 years with somebody who's lying to me, ultimately to find out that they have no integrity, that they're fickle, or they're this, or they're not a stand-up person, or they're not, or even just that they're not going to respect my boundaries, because that's just not good for me. Make sense?
100%. Yeah, no.
But you're tripping because you liked
ego.
the fact that she was wilding out.
Oh, I felt like that, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I did.
All right.
But I did like even under the pretense I did practice like empathy. So I kind of did feel bad.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean that doesn't mean you still. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you're still gonna come across people who are damaged and gonna screw up. Like, and you still gotta sift through that. Sometimes you gotta kiss a lot of frogs to get the princess. You know, that's just the way it is. And sometimes you come up with money on the first one. You know, so it is what it is. You stop ego tripping and get back to work. You feel me?
All right, fair enough. My bad, boy.
All right, later.
Later, bye.
Yeah, you're right. Test PM, what's going on in the building? I can do it all day, but not with a woman I love. Yeah, Diamond DJ, that's just you having intimacy problems. Let me put that up for you. Diamond DJ says, I can do it all day, but not with a woman I love. That's something that we would have to delve in. If you want to call in and talk, we'll talk about it. I mean, I can ask you some questions and we can figure it out. But it seems to me, I mean, you got to figure out what it is you want and what it is you don't want. I mean, and you could be doing, I mean, here's the other thing I think you got to understand. You can make your life look like any way you want. The point is that you got to be willing to make the sacrifice and put in the time and the effort in it. If you have a situation where you have intimacy problems, usually people have intimacy problems because they have intimacy problems with their parents, because that's how we learn to be intimate. We use our parents as a model. And
to accept, press.
A lot of times we think that just because they're our parents, they got it figured out. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Daryl from Rhode Island.
What's up, Daryl? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How can I help you, bro?
Good. I got a question. You ever been in relationships where you start off, everything's amazing, and you, for some reason, after 5, 6, 7 months, something like that, you're starting to want your space, and you slowly kind of start to almost sabotage it by maybe picking up flaws, or I don't know, you actively kind of start to distance yourself by maybe.
Now let me ask you this: do you think that the flaws that you start picking apart, is that because you really feel that way, or is that because because you're just trying to sabotage it? I mean, that's two different things.
That's what I wonder. It's a few hard examples be all right, well, I would have liked someone who works out more or something like that, even though it's she's still good looking more. Maybe you'd want someone who's a bit more passionate about their career. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this.
And then you're this person's lazy.
But I also feel this sounds like you haven't really defined what you wanted in the first place.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? If you don't know what you're looking for, right? Or you haven't really defined it in yourself, because there are things that, and don't get me wrong, I'm 58 years old, and I'm, not that I'm proud of it, but I ran through a lot of chicks, and what I realize now is that if I'm talking to somebody, and there are things that they will say that will instantly disqualify them, even for me to smash. You know what I mean? Here's a story. I remember I did a show at a comedy club, and there was this chick. She was from the Midwest, little cute little youngin', and she was oh yeah, but she was kind of white girl, but she was kind of real street, I'm saying, it was just, I'm whatever. I don't know how you were raised, whatever. So I'm driving home to my crib, and she goes, "Oh, where you live?" And I'm like, "In Brooklyn." And she was like, "Oh, you live in Brooklyn? Word." She goes, "You know Jay-Z?" I was like, "All right, I gotta take her back to the hotel." Like, and I, you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, for me, somebody who's that dense, or or I shouldn't say dense, but just somebody from the Midwest who really ain't, this your first time in New York, you hooking up with me,
get outside of the Midwest,
it might be a great smashing, but I also know at 50, I know that unless I'm going to say, listen, I got to get up and I'm going to set it up where, like, yo, I got to get up in the morning so we can go to my house and smash, but I got to get you back home because you know what I mean?
Red eye.
But right, the red eye, that's funny. I'm going to use that. So what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? But especially when you find, when there's an attractive woman, and you said, how many, have you ever been in a situation where after 5 months? Yeah, every relationship, we compromise as we get to know each other. We get to see if we fit, and if we don't fit, then sometimes we just don't fit, and you need somebody else. But here's what I think: goes back to all the principles go back to the same thing over and over again. In order for you to take an Uber, there needs to be two things: you need to know your current location, and you need to know your destination, where you want to go. Right?
You're right.
So if you haven't defined those two things, don't call the Uber. Don't call the Uber until you know where you want to go. What are you going to do? Just get in the Uber?
You'll end up in places.
Yeah, you're just going to let them float around, just drive you around until. But the same thing is true if you're talking to some girl and you haven't really defined what kind of woman you know, like, you can have a bad chick, right? Especially when you're young, right? When you're young and you get a chick and she's bad, but if she's not exercising, right? Now, right?
Right.
There's a good chance she's just going to keep getting bigger. I mean, who doesn't get bigger as they get older? But if they
don't exercise,
if that is something that is a non-negotiable to you, why would you date a bad chick who is not going to work out? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was just like a good example, or it's just like, man, it's like there's so many good qualities in this person, but then it's like, the few ones.
Yeah, but
like,
the good qualities, the good qualities don't go past. They don't go past the non-negotiables. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Last night I was hanging out with my boy, this comic from the UK. Paul Chaudhry, and a club owner, a comic in the UK, and we were hanging out, right? And I went to the Stand. It's a big club in New York City, and then my boy Chris Italia, he saw I was with some people, and so he he set us out, right? He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get y'all some oysters and some blah blah, some shrimp cock." You know what I mean? I'm not an oyster dude. I like clams, but I don't like oysters. But if I don't like oysters, right? And somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to start liking oysters. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's expensive. It doesn't matter if other people love it. It's just not my thing. You feel me?
Yeah. I guess so. It's like, it's just tough, not that you want to be like, not have a, what is it, like an abundant mindset, but if you meet someone who's like a sweetheart and everything like that, and she's like into you and all that, but there's a few things where you're not really, I don't know, for some reason I just notice I'm starting to like pick up on little subtleties, or I'm like, and I don't want to, but then I can see that just being like a sabotaging, or
but here's my thing.
Slowly being like,
what you're talking about is that moment where she goes, "Do you know Jay-Z?" Right? It's like, but what happens if she's bad and she's into you? Here's the thing: what do we find most attractive about women? That they like us. The thing that's most attractive to men is their attraction to you. The fact that they think you're dope. that it feeds our ego, it validates us and stuff. And what happens is when you get older, and I don't know if when you get older, because I got some young guys, like shout out to Gabo and Celino, young dudes who I consult with. Let me put that up too real quick. Guys that I consult with pretty frequently, and they're making decisions that I know 50-year-old dudes will not make. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, not everybody had a
right. Simply because of the fact,
202, for example.
Simply because of the fact that they on that, like they just doing it the way they, they just are. They're dudes who literally, they're in a situation where they've learned. Can avoid that. Real quick, if anybody's in the comments, just make sure that the stream is still up, right? Yeah. So but if you're in a situation where, if you start to understand these little telltale signs, right? Where there's always these things that tell you that this is not a person that you should be with, but because what we like most about women is how they like us. So she likes me. I feel good. I feel better because she likes me and she appreciates me. But this is why I say never let a woman define you. Because if you let her define you, then you're always in a situation where they have control over you. Because it's great. It's a great situation when they like you. But what happens when they stop liking you? Now you're miserable and you have no self-esteem because you thought somebody liked you. Because you have allowed somebody to define what your validity is. So what I'm saying is take a little time, figure out what you want. If you like a girl that works out and you start talking to some girl who don't work, like she's talking to you on the phone, stuffing her mouth with cheesecake, that's probably a chick that you shouldn't be with.
It's not like that.
I'm giving you the most extreme situation so you understand what I'm saying. But understand something. You really need to understand what the destination is. You need to understand what you're looking for. If you haven't really worked that out, how you gonna get that?
Yeah, I guess because there's so many flavors out there, you kind of just want to try everything.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. But if you're gonna try it out with the intention that you don't mean it nothing other than to try it out. Don't get me wrong, yo. There's women who actually want to smash and keep it moving. Like they don't want you. You know what I mean?
I don't seem to find those ones.
Yeah, but that's because you're not out there in the it's out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to my man the other day, and he was like, this chick was a doctor, and she's like, I don't feel like she was like, I don't have the bandwidth. She's like, I don't have the bandwidth. You keep talking at me. I feel like you don't listen and you don't ask questions. Now, that could be that my boy is obnoxiously selfish and he just don't care. Or it could be that she wants to be a little princess. Doesn't even matter. The point is that they don't fit.
Yep.
You feel me? And so if they don't fit, like, why are we wasting our time with something? And I'm not saying you can't. I'm not even saying you can't smash. But we get to a point where we assume that every chick who wants to have sex with us wants a relationship. That's just not true.
It's not true. Not true. Everyone's getting out of relationships or at different stages.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, you might be the rebound guy, and if you okay with that, you the rebound guy, you get. Here's a quick story, and then I'm gonna let you go. I was 23 years old. There was a chick. She was 43 years old. She runs up to me, bad older chick, milfy chick, right? She goes, "Listen, let me get your number." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "What's your name?" She goes, "That doesn't matter." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm 23." I'm like, "All right, whatever." She said, "Well, so down the road, quick, make the story quick." She hits me up. She says, "Listen, remember I met you at the club, blah, 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 blah. I need you to come to the Waldorf, right? This is the." I'm like, all right, like I'm young, right? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I go to the Waldorf, right? I get there, champagne. She got the lingerie on. Boom, 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 boom. We smash, right? I'm like, "Yo, what's your name?" She goes, "That doesn't matter." I'm 23. I'm smashing, right?
Yeah.
Then she was like, "Smash." She says, "Look, you got the room until 11. You got a late checkout. I'm out." Boom. I'm up in the Waldorf, just drinking champagne. You know what I mean? Like, I left. I was like, "Yo, when I'm gonna see you again? What's up?" She's like, "That none of that matters." I'm like, "All right." Well, this happened to me maybe 4 other times till it got to the point where I was like, yo, I'm not having sex again until you tell me what your name is, right? So do you understand what I'm saying? It just, as much as it works for a period of time, and then sometimes it don't work. And when it doesn't work, you gotta, I mean, I probably hooked up with her 2 more times after that. But after a while, I was like, never again. I mean, sex was crazy. It was, I ain't had no
Yeah.
money. I was a dude, just, like this was
It
an
worked for the right
experience.
time.
Yeah, but she wouldn't give me like she was just using me up. She was objectifying me. And
Wow.
and it was good for me until it wasn't good for me.
Exactly.
I started catching feelings. I was like, all right, tell me, all right, what's the first letter? You start being goofy. So, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm just saying, I guess what I'm saying is you got to be intentful about the decisions that you make. And, you got to be intentful about your decisions and know what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with, So,
yeah.
you'll just all right. So just is it a letter F? Is it Felicia? I'm goofy. Like, when I look back at it, but it also goes to show you how what you think is important can change based on the circumstances. What I'm saying is,
what do you mean by that? Yeah.
Meaning, if you had told me at 23 years old that I would give a fuck about some chick that was giving me paper, meeting me at hotels, effing the mess out of, you know what I'm saying? That it would be important to know what I was like, well, what do you do for a living? Like, what, like, it was just goofy.
After a while, you start
I'm like,
wonder,
well,
right?
what is, I would sound like a chick. I was like, well, what is this? What are we doing here? What? I mean, are we together? Are we not? You know what I'm saying?
I got you now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
instead
it
of just
changed.
Enjoying it for what it is, you have to define it.
Right, but if you have you have an idea of where you're at before, and always define this before. It's difficult to define it when you're in it. It's
100%.
Yeah. So define it before. Figure out what you want. And even if it's not what you want, figure out what parameters you want to deal with this, and then be honest about it. And if you're honest about it, I mean, there's another thing. You think every chick wants to marry. Every chick don't want to marry you, dude. I mean, we've all seen internet is crazy. We've all seen dudes with the flash mob, right? Where the guy asked the girl to flash mob asked the girl to springs up on her, gives her, asks her to marry, and she says no, and then runs off. Like, we've all seen that video. So clearly, everybody's not trying to marry everybody.
If you're a good dude, there's a good chance that a lot of them want to lock you down. I guess. Yeah, like if you're following these principles, it's just like
yes, it does. It absolutely does. But I'm gonna tell you something. I have this chick, bad little Italian chick, right? Mm-hmm. And like we hit it off great, but her family was racist, and she couldn't bring a black dude home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that.
She didn't mind smashing, but she wasn't bringing me home. And her ex-boyfriend was an Italian dude who used to beat the crap out of her. But for them, that was better. You know what I mean? That was better. I'm just saying, if you define what you want before time, then you don't run into the problems. How old are you?
I'm in my mid-30s.
Yeah,
35.
I mean, you got to do this now. This is like, you can't be wasting time. I understand. Y'all are not 58, but dog, my death is imminent to me. You know what I mean? Like it's so I'm not wasting time. All right.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at too. Like I'm thinking about,
I'm trying to make dudes be like that way earlier. So that when they get to be 58, they're not still going through the same nonsense that they were going through when they're 23. Dog, I appreciate you calling, my man. I appreciate you.
Hey, have a good night, man.
All right, brother. Later.
All right, peace.
This, it's it's an interesting thing. I have a friend of mine. I had we were having like a political discussion, right? And this is not relevant to relationship, but it's relevant. It's relevant to relationships. All right, let me get back to this. I don't want to take these calls as much as I can.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Yo, what's your name? Where you calling from?
How's it going, Dante? It's James, North Carolina.
What's going on, James? How are you? How can I help you, brother?
Good. I actually wanted to talk on a quick topic and get your opinion on a quick topic that I've been trying to figure out for a few years now. This idea, so it's something that you spoke about with like one of the previous callers, but you had mentioned like dealing with women that like you and how that has a certain effect. And I don't disagree. I do agree. However, I do have the sort of impulse of going after women that aren't necessarily hot on me at the beginning. Women who are damn near rejecting me at the beginning. And I like the challenge of trying to win that over.
Okay. Yeah. Stop. So let me ask you something. And the question is, do you like the woman or do you like the challenge?
I like to think it's the latter, but I think experience might show me it's the challenge. Yeah.
It's the challenge. Okay. So what is the challenge? Where does the challenge? Because like I want to walk you through this so that you could, and I wanted to do this so I could teach the people who are listening how you walk yourself through this. Let's say if it's the challenge, right? What about the challenge is attractive to you?
Man. That's what I can't quite answer.
Come on, yes, you can. Come on, what is it? The thing? Let's say you couldn't get her, right? And then you try and you find the combination, and then all of a sudden you get her. What is the feeling that you feel in that moment?
I see. It's the
now wait, stop
moment.
Before you answer. I want you to see how I'm asking you these questions. These are the questions that you got to ask yourself. You got to go, why is this important? The Wyatt Christian is an asshole. He's, I love the fresh scent of a new girl. That's creepy.
But reality is not. You're right in the questioning. It's very much, and rather, you're right in the recommendation of ask myself that prior.
Okay, so what is it? You can't get her. All of a sudden you chase. All of a sudden you get her. What is it that you feel in that moment?
It's a sense of victory. It's a sense of overcoming. It's a sense
and victory is what? Victory comes down to what? What is that feeling? There's a level of satisfaction, right?
Yeah.
And satisfaction is validation. Is validation that I'm good enough. This was a task that I went through. I couldn't get, and I overcame the task, right?
Oh, damn. All right. So see, what's bugging me about that is that tends to come attached with situationships that wind up, extending for.
Wait, you're going too fast. We'll get there. All right. So this level of satisfaction is this, it feeds your ego, right?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
So what is ego?
The idealistic version we have of ourselves.
Yeah. But I mean, the ego is what? What is it ultimately? Is it not emotion?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do I say about emotion?
Never let it have a seat at the table.
Okay. So by you doing this, you're doing what?
Oh, you bugging me out.
There you go. There you go.
Snap.
So now you're in a situation where, because you've allowed emotion to have a seat at the table, you are making decisions not based on logic. Because when we do, I'm gonna ask you, when you let emotion have a seat at the table, how does that affect human beings in general?
It winds up having a negative effect whereby we derail our lives.
But how? Like specifically, we do what?
We make stupid decisions.
So you ego tripping, allow emotion to have a seat at the table, which is one of the principles, one of the rules. You get into this situationship or whatever it is, right, with somebody who you haven't even logically vetted. So how does that end up turning out?
Negative practically 100% of the time.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's literally foolproof. If you understand the principles and you go through the steps, it's literally it's foolproof. So this is not about this girl, right? This is about this is about you. This is about you jacking off, right?
Yeah.
Now let's be honest. This woman is a human being, right?
Yeah.
Where's your empathy in the fact that you see her objectively as a challenge that you don't even care about in the first place? Where is your empathy in that?
Oh, no. I'm 2 counts on the foul right now. Ooh.
I'm saying is it not a lack of empathy?
That's a lack of empathy. Yes,
and what's the last letter in ACE is what?
It's empathy, not as a fact.
So you're not practicing ACE, right?
God damn it, man. This shit is foolproof. You're not wrong.
It always, I mean, I've been working this so long. Like the formula is, I mean, don't get me wrong. There may be something I'm missing, right? But I test these scenarios. It's sort of like I got the the relationship computer, ACE, and the content that we put out is so like I plug so many different scenarios in it, and it always comes out with the right answer.
Now, I got to give you all the credit in the world right now. Something specifically when you asked what ego was, and you framed ego as being an emotion, and how you've always said never let emotion have a seat at the table. Like that is, man, that is a grand slam, bases loaded. I never thought about ego in that manner. I read about ego. I thought about like the other 3 that was it Carl Jung, the other psychologists.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. It's crazy. Like, I mean, don't complicate it too much. Don't intellectualize. I mean, for years, any dude over 250 pounds with a black T-shirt and black cargo pants has stood in front of somebody's club somewhere and bounced at some point in time. So, but when I would bounce, right, what would happen a lot of times is, can you hear me? Yeah,
I got you.
Well, a lot of times it was I know I'm old, but whatever. I'm gonna tell this story anyway. The lead singer from the Force MDs, right? If y'all don't believe me, y'all can look up the Force MDs. It was a song called Tears. It was a whole long singing group, and they all used to wear the same sweaters with whatever. Anyway,
they showed up in uniform.
Yeah, and Jerry Curls, but one of them had ended up cracked out, right? Got cracked out, got clean, and I'm bouncing at this club. I'm bouncing at the New Yorker club. He shows up and he goes, "You don't know who I am?" And in my mind, I was like, no, right? No, I don't. No, all right. And he was like, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna have you fired." Blah, blah, blah. I go, but I was just like, "Yo, why don't you tell me who you are, right? And then maybe I could give you the roll out the red carpet." You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this dude is not. I mean, look, he like fucking the Wyatt Christian. He says Force MDs is an American R&B and vocal group that was formed in 1981 in Staten Island, New York. Right, but it was like a classic R&B joint. And I grew up on it, right? So he said, "Yo, I'm so and so lead singer for the Force MDs," and I was like, "Oh, my bad, I fuck with y'all." You know what I mean? Like, yo, come on in. But what happened was he was angry and he felt unvalidated because I didn't know who he was, and
the emotion took a seat at the table.
Yeah, it was this emotion and stuff where it really wasn't even that serious a deal, and I let him in. It was fine. My point is, just like your ego, it screws with you because what it says, your ego constantly says to you, you don't know who the hell I am, and what happens when the answer is nah,
No.
I don't.
Yeah, and the crazy part is that's nasty on anybody. I don't care who you are. You name the top A-list celebs. If you Will Smith and you show up at some random country and they don't know who you are, and you ask, "Do you know who I am?"
Yo,
that shit looks
they
nasty.
did it to
It don't matter who
Oprah.
you are.
They did it to Oprah
Yeah.
at the Louis Vuitton store in Spain. Like, you know, like, dude,
one of the most powerful women in the world. And
yeah.
it's like, yeah,
So
nah.
it is what it is. But that's my point. My point is you stay the course.
I want to acknowledge what you said. Like, that is extremely poignant. That is extremely important what you said, because it's something that I've been looking into psychology for a little bit, and I've looked into the ego, super ego, the id, but I never thought about ego in the way you described it, which is
but you gotta understand, even those dudes, there's holes in what they do too.
No, for sure, it's just theories, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, yeah, but how you describe something that is often talked about, but I feel like what you said is not often understood, which is that is an emotion. Ultimately,
I believe my gift in this game is to simplify things in a way that people can understand it. Why? Because I've removed the ego. Like, I remove my ego and not assume, and just don't assume that everybody knows what I know or has the experience that I have, which is the empathy. So if I approach my consultations, which is on the thing, one-on-one consultations, DanteNero.com, click on consult. If I approach it without ego, and I don't think I'm better than you, or even when I made mistakes, I've made the same mistakes that you've made, or I've been in situations where I felt insecure, or I've, all of these things. It's like, for you to forget that and then be on your ish, where you better than, you really just jerking yourself off, and that don't help nobody. All right, let me move on. I got a couple of people calling in.
I'm gonna let you do you, Dante. I appreciate you taking the call. Thank you for the kicking of goddamn behind, man. I appreciate that.
All right, brother. Peace. Yeah. It all kind of it just, you keep practicing it, and when you keep practicing it and you keep practicing it, it starts to flow. It's just like anything else. The repetition, it creates a situation where you don't have to figure out the mechanics. I mean, that's why you lay the 5 bricks. It's like you're talking to women with such at such a high level and so frequently, it just gets easier.
To accept, press 1.
Hey, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, Dante, it's Delano.
What up, kid? What's going on?
Yo, what's up, man?
You see I gave you a shout out?
I did. I was watching, and then it blacked out for a second.
What's going on?
Man, I was
let me just say to the listeners, if y'all don't know, Solano's one of my little shorty, my little disciples. Have been working with him since 17?
Yep.
This is about 17, and he's really killing it. It's ridiculous. But go ahead, what's going on, Solano?
So I'm the last week of the quarter, and I'm about to go on break here for a couple months.
Solano, you're killing me. Get to the point. You know better.
Yo, so I'm wondering, with showing intention, what goes on? How do I show my value when I get a girl who doesn't seem as interested anymore? When I've shot my shot, she says she's interested, but then we're not really getting to a place. Well, we haven't hung out yet.
Wait, you shot your shot. She turned you down.
No, she said she was interested.
And then and so what's the problem?
Well, she texts back, but I called, or she told me she would call back. Hasn't happened just yet.
And how long? What's the timing?
Well, I asked her if I could call yesterday, and she had fallen asleep. She told me, listen, definitely tomorrow. So I called back today for the first time. I called, and then she answered. She picked up, but she was like, "What is 1 second? I'm getting another call." And then she texted me. She said, "I'm actually gonna go hang out with some friends, but we can talk later."
Yeah, you let that go. And you already know that.
Okay.
You don't reach out to her again until she reaches out. If she don't reach out, and even if she reaches out, you should be skeptical. If you are interested, come on, Selena, you know better than this. If she's interested, what is she gonna do? I mean, we've been talking for what, almost what? You 23 now?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. If somebody ain't interested, then what is there left for you to do?
Well, I know that. Just
so then, what's the question?
How to go about it? Because
how to go about what? How to go about what? She's not responding. And even if she is responding, she's responding with a lack of enthusiasm. Are you okay with that?
No.
So there's your answer. You can't make people, you cannot make, listen, everybody in the chat, everybody who's listening, you can't make people do what you don't want them to do. People will do what they want to do. And what I've learned to do is to allow them to do what they want to. I make it easy for them to do what they want to do, because I want to see what the true essence of their character is. And then when I realize that the true essence of their character is not something that's gonna be that's gonna make me happy, now I'm just putting myself in a situation where now you're dealing with this chick, and you're putting yourself in a situation where you're gonna be chasing this chick every chance you get. I mean, there's always a chance that you once you get in and you hook up with her, right? That you that change, and then the dynamic changes, but the dynamic will not change by you chasing her and just saying that this behavior is okay. She's just not interested. And it doesn't matter if she said she's interested, if she chose somebody else over you. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
It was new to you, so you were interested. Right now, we could talk about how you always trying to bag something new up, right? I get it. You're 23, you do it, but the point is, if some other a chick from back in the days who you had dealt with before, already smashed, was in the queue, and then this chick called you up and said, "Yo, what you doing? I'm trying to see you. What's up?" You would blow the other chick off, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You understand? It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's blowing you off because she ain't interested. Sorry.
So that's just the subtext of what's going on.
Yeah. Thank God she's being honest. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And you're supposed to be able to figure this one out without me.
Yeah, but I just wanted to check.
Yeah, all right. Beat it later. Yeah. Sometimes I think Selena just likes the comfort of checking his answers against the answer key. Me being the answer key. So it is what it is. But yeah, Diamond DJ, you need to get a call or a consultation, because I'm watching your comments and you all over the place. I definitely can help you out, but I appreciate you. And I don't want you to think that's a diss. I'm just saying that there's an inconsistency in your philosophy, and that's important. Angela, what's going on, baby? How you doing? That's my girl. Good. Thank you, sweetie. Thanks for calling in. Love you much. Yo, I'm tired. I think we're gonna shut this down, and I don't know what's going on with with my closing music. It ain't working. So I'm gonna just go like this. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, What Would Dante Do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted. I love y'all, man. Thanks for this. Good to be back, man. I'll be back on Tuesday. I'll be on Tuesday. Let's get it. Let's go. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you haven't liked and subscribed. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you get you get notification when I'm live. I'm on all platforms. Don't forget the Patreon. Let me just put that up real quick. Because I'm always doing extra content and stuff, lessons and stuff that you got. I mean, it's just a lot to learn, man, in it. And then the more that you immerse yourself in it, here's the Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com. Manschool 202. It's a great way to support the show so that we can keep doing it, man. I love y'all, man, for real. Don't forget the one-on-one consultations. We didn't get no Cash Apps today. Nobody loves me. I didn't get no Cash App and no PayPal, but that's all right. We'll get them next time. We'll be back rocking Tuesday. Peace, man. I love y'all, man. Peace.